Hey folks, it's your boy RagingRJ back at it again. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of sanctions because nothing says fun like economic warfare. Am I right? Now, we all heard that sanctions are supposed to be this magical bullet to bring rogue nations, Russia, to their knees. But what happened when those sanctions start to backfire, causing more damage to the one who imposed them? Spoiler alert, it's not pretty. Let's set the stage. Back in March 2022, the Western world decided to play hardball with Russia. The grand plan? Ban Russian airlines from the airspace and impose a smorgasbord of sanctions, hoping to isolate Russia economically and politically. Sound great on paper, right? Except there's one little thing called unintended consequences, and boy, did they come knocking. Let's start with something as simple as flying over Russia. You see, banning Russian planes from Western airspace might sound like a power move, but Russia didn't just sit there twiddling their thumb. Nope, they turned around and said, fine, we'll knock down your airspace too. Now, if you're thinking, what's the big deal? Well, let me paint you a big picture. It's like a bad breakup with both sides refusing to take the main road. So they end up driving through the woods, getting lost, using twice as much gas. And that's exactly what's happening to the airlines like British Airways. They had to scrap flights to Beijing because, surprise, surprise, not flying over Russia adds hours to their journey. And hours mean more fuel, more costs, more headaches. It's like trying to take a shortcut and ending up in a traffic jam, except this one little stretch across continents. And British Airways isn't the only one. European carriers are struggling to make these longer, more expensive flights work. It's like running a marathon with one leg tied behind your back. Meanwhile, carriers from other countries not involved in these airway spat are flying high, literally and figuratively. They're outcompeting Western airlines with these routes because they don't have to worry about detour, extra fuel costs. Now, let's zoom out of a bit. The airspace drama just one piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about the big pictures, the sanctions themselves. The idea was to cripple Russia economy, right? But take a look at this map. Notice anything? Notice anything? Anything? Right. But it's not exactly a global consensus, is it? Most of Africa, Asia, Middle East, Central, and South America are not playing ball with these sanctions, and that's a problem. It's like trying to throw a surprise party, but half the guests didn't show up. Sure, the US and the Europeans are on board, but the rest of the world, not so much. And here's the kicker. Those countries are not participating in the sanction, are now key trading partners for Russia. So while Western economies are feeling the squeeze, Russia's fighting new markets and new friends. It's like being left out in the cold while your ex move on to someone new. Let's take a closer look at Europe, especially energy. The US decided to sanction all imports of Russian oil production. A bold move, but here's a catch. Europe couldn't follow suit. Why, you might ask? Because they're hooked on Russian oil and gas like a junkie on their lax fix. And here's where things get really interesting. France, for example, has been seeing its import of Russian liquefied natural gas double in the first half of this year. That's right. While Europe's out trying to wean itself out of Russian energy, France is saying just one more hit. They're not alone. Overall, EU countries import 7% more Russian liquid natural gas compared to the same period last year. It's like telling your friend you're quitting smoking while you're secretly puffing away in the alley. Let's not forget Germany. Poor Germany. The industrial production is tanking. Bankruptcy are skyrocketing, and companies like BASF are shutting down factories. It's like watching a slow motion car crash. Germany. Germany economy is being strangled by high energy price, and it doesn't help that they're closing off their most essential energy lifeline because sanction. But wait, it gets worse. The volume of orders from German machine building and engineering companies are dropping by 12% this year alone. And within Germany itself, orders have plummeted by 18%. It's like someone's pulling the plug on the country's industrial powerhouse, and nobody seems to know how to stop it. Meanwhile, metallurgical corporations are feeling the pinch too. With demand for their production falling, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's like watching a giant struggle to stay on its feet while the ground is crumbling beneath them. And all of this could be fixed with a little thing called sanity. See, the problem with these sanctions is that they're not hurting Russia. They're hurting everyone, especially the European. It's like setting your neighbor's house on fire and then wonder why your house is starting to smoke. The secondary effects are coming back to bite the West, and it's not pretty. Imagine a room filled with economic advisors and decided, hey, let's all shoot each other in the foot to make a point, because that's exactly what it's feel. This is exactly what the Europeans are doing right now. Western economies are bleeding out, energy prices are going through the roof, and all the while the Russians are finding new way to adapt and thrive. It's like playing a chess with someone who's 5 moves ahead of you, and you're just trying to knock over the pieces. So what's the solution? Well, maybe it's time to take a step back and reassess the whole sanction energy. Maybe it's time to stop doubling down on a losing hand, because right now it feels like we're stuck in a game where there's no winners and only losers, and the losers are the European countries. That's it for today's, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out our next video. Stay tuned, stay informed, and remember, sometimes the best way to win a fight is to walk away. RagingRJ out.